is on the topic frequent errors in decimal calculation among class 9 students. So the problem identified here is students make frequent errors in decimal calculation, mistakes in addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, incorrect placement of decimal point. This is observed during classwork, homeworks and tests. So many students are making frequent errors in the calculation of decimals like addition, subtraction, multiplication, etc. This is the problem identified. Now we are pinpointing the problem. So this problem is identified in class 9 students in the subject mathematics. Some 8 to 10 students are solving this problem, and the major issues noted here is misplacement of decimal point. They don't know where to put this decimal point exactly, and weak understanding about the place value system and some careless mistakes. Now the teacher is analyzing the cause for this problem. So the first one is lack of conceptual understanding of decimals. So the students basically lacks the basic concepts of decimal point. So that's why many are making mistakes. Then weak knowledge of place value system. So for doing some decimal calculation, the basic thing we want to know is about place value system. So some students are having very weak knowledge in this place value system. That's why many are making mistakes in decimal calculation. Then memorization without understanding. Many of the students are memorizing this concept of decimal calculation without knowing the actual concept. That is one reason for this problem. Then carelessness during calculation. So some are just careless, making mistakes due to the careless attitude. Then lack of sufficient practice. Some are doing mistakes because they don't have enough practice in doing decimal calculations. Then last one is fear or confusion in handling decimal. So if you are seeing a new number like 9.999, if you are seeing a new number, some may be having a notion like, oh, this is difficult. So that is one reason. Now the teacher is formulating action hypothesis. So if the students are taught decimal concepts using clear methods and practice and given step-by-step guidance with visual aids, the error in decimal calculation will be reduced. So the hypothesis formed here is if the teacher is teaching the concept with some visual aids like some charts or some models or some PPTs, and if she is giving step-by-step guidance like how to multiply decimal points, how can we divide these decimal numbers, if she is giving step-by-step guidance, then we can overcome this issue. And next step is development of design for testing hypothesis. So now the teacher is developing a design for implementing this hypothesis. So the first one is teach place values using charts and visuals. So now what the teacher is doing, the teacher will prepare some charts or some visual aid which is showing this place value system, and now she is giving them a clear idea about what the place value is actually. Then demonstrate correct alignment of decimals. Now teacher is teaching where should the point come. Likewise, she is demonstrating the correct alignment of decimals. Then give step-by-step examples. So now the teacher is giving an example and she is helping the students to understand how can be done this problem step by step. Then conduct daily practice exercise. And she is now giving every day one problem regarding this decimal operation to students. Now provide worksheets on decimal operation. And now she is giving some worksheet based on this decimal operations, immediate corrections and feedbacks. So if a student is making a mistake now, at that moment itself the teacher is giving a feedback and correction. If he made any mistake, the teacher is correcting why this is wrong, how can you correct this, like this. And conduct short tests to monitor progress. So not just stopping this session by one class, the teacher is continuously assessing, like they are improving, like every day she is giving one test to every student. So the last step is drawing conclusion. So reduction in decimal calculation errors. So after implementing are having a better confidence in doing these problems. So we can say the hypothesis is accepted. So that's all about